few people would like to be feared, but I believe that most of us would like to be loved. And how do we get that love? When I was doing the grief recovery workshops, people thought that the answer to their problems, all of their problems, would be to get someone to love them. And that's a very common thing after there's been a divorce or separation. In fact, quite a few of the courses for divorce and separation, those kind of things, actually met in hotels. And after you had 2 or 3 gin and tonics, you were ready to love everyone. And unfortunately, that's a dead end. During the lockdown, Pauline and I watched lots of movies, family movies, dramas. And to my amazement, the theme in many of these movies, boy meets girl, that after their first meeting for coffee or for cocktail or something, they finish up in bed that same night. Now that seems to be a prevailing theme in our society. And I know that with people who have been separated, their loved one has left them, a lot of people seem to think the way to fix this is to get someone else to love them. And what they're talking about is physical love, and I don't think it's a good idea. They're not ready for it. One of our little slogans was become a love magnet, and I made my greatest mistake in a public gathering talking about being a love magnet. I just read in a magazine that women who want to attract lovers wear dangly earrings. That's kind of a symbol that I'm available. And I said this to the class, and the class went quiet. And I looked around and found 3 of the women were wearing dangly earrings. And 2 of them left that night and never came back. I'm so sorry I said that. Actually, the key to being a love magnet is give love. Don't go out looking for people to love you. Look for people you can love. And there might be a stranger on the bus. There might be someone in a shop. They might be someone at your work, someone that lives nearby. Be friendly, be thoughtful, reach out to them with warmth, and then people will start reaching out to you with warmth. You become a love magnet. A love magnet is a person who attracts love. Now we know the fashion industry, the makeup industry, the 24-hour gyms, all of these things are to build your body up so you look wonderful, and people will look at you and they will want to be with you, they will want to love you, but that's not the way it works. A love magnet is a person who people like to be near and who want to have them in their house or in their company or at their party. That's a love magnet. And it's possible for anyone, but it's got to do with not what you wear, but who you are and how you reach out to other people. I want to tell you about Ron. We met Ron in Perth. He was 80 years of age, but he was ramrod straight because he had been a captain in the Australian Army. Now he was a widower and lived by himself. When we went there to that church, we asked for people to help with the children's program. And much to everyone's surprise, he volunteered. People had only seen him looking rather severe and unsmiling. But he got the idea, maybe I can work with children, particularly little boys. And I noticed after he'd been part of our program that come church times, the little boys in our church, and particularly the ones that were sometimes a problem, would choose to sit with Ron. They really liked him, and he liked them, and he gave himself to them. At that time, the Fijian government was forcing Indians to leave Fiji. They were worried there were too many Indians in Fiji, and quite a lot of them came to Australia, and some came to our suburb, and one family bought a corner store, we'd call it a dairy, and the dairy to which Ron would go. And he now was reaching out to people, and he took an interest in that family, and he got to know the names of the children, and he always would have conversations when they weren't busy, and they really liked him, and they invited him to tea. Every Saturday night he would go there for a meal, and the little children would be around him, and he was an honoured guest, but he loved it and they loved him. He was a love magnet. One Saturday evening, after his meal, he sat down in the chair they always had for him, and he said to them, "That was a lovely curry," and then he died. He died right there in their lounge room, sitting on the chair. What do you think about that? I wouldn't mind that. Say, what a lovely curry, and whoop. But that's what he did. Now, I'll tell you about the funeral. His daughter-in-law wouldn't let him visit with his grandchild because she said he's too stuffy. But when the funeral was underway, she looked around the church and there were lots and lots of children, and the children formed a guard of honour when the coffin was carried out. And she asked me, "How come this man has so many children friends?" And I said, "He reached out to them." "Oh," she said, "I never knew he was like that." But Ron had become a love magnet. You can too. It's not too hard. Just reach out to those around you, and they'll reach out to you and want you to be their friend.